Things are escalating between Syria and Turkey. Turkey has recently forced a Syrian plane to land under suspicion that it had Russian munitions on the plane. Syria has said there is no such thing on the plane and has declared a no-fly zone for Turkish commercial airliners over the airspace of Syria. Speaking of escalation, there are more and more reports that are saying the Syrian government is using cluster bombs on its populace. If things weren't bad then, they're really bad now. In Tibet, another man has set himself on fire in protest of Chinese rule. They've been setting themselves on fire for a long time. It only took one man in Tunisia to set off the Arab Spring. The Cup of Nations, a soccer game held on the African continent, has gotten a little bit out of hand between the Ivory Coast and Senegal. So the match was going along. The Ivory Coast is up 2 on Senegal, and Senegal, in disbelief, begins to riot, starting fires first, and then throwing chairs second, and then trash. So kind of like reverse escalation, but it went on long enough to cancel the game. Still, in preparation for the World Cup, 800 officers went and committed a raid on the slums of Rio de Janeiro to take care of all the crime and drug problems. Some not-so-bleak news. Egypt, opening the pyramids up to tourists. If you want to go to Egypt right now, the Space Shuttle Endeavour is having trouble with trees. It's being held up by all these special fancy trees, like Martin Luther King trees, who don't like being oppressed by spacecrafts. And Coulter thinks racism ended in the 60s. 1964 to be exact. Europe is trying its hand at global positioning systems. They've launched the final phase of the Galileo satellite system, which will map the world much like the US's GPS system. Thank you for joining me on today's episode of News for My Friends. Thank you. I encourage you, read the articles, research some more, learn what's going on out there in the world. There's a lot going on.